This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo, hence the name. And today I have Micheal Rager. He is a business guy that is always fishing for business in quite a literal sense. And I'm just gonna let him tell you more about that. But first, Micheal, how are you?
I'm doing great, Foo. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm feeling, productive. It's Monday, trying to kick up the week with a good pace.
So you're not like me. You're not catching up on your taxes, huh?
Oh, I did that during the weekend. So
okay. I procrastinated.
So yeah, we're in tax season. Definitely, that's where everybody's focusing on right now. So, just without further ado, let's get into who are you and what you do. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, essentially, what I do is I help businesses catch new clients. Just like you said, I consider myself a business guide, just like a fishing guide. My passion is fishing. I actually have a master's degree in trout biology. So what does that mean to help business owners, catch more clients? Well, I've been part of a business that was me and my partner, we grew it and we sold it. I've helped 3 of my clients grow their businesses and sell it. And it's one of the things that it's about, as a fisherman, when I go to new areas of the country, like I know you're on the West Coast. I used to live on the West Coast. In order for me to have success, going fishing, it's best for me to hire a guide. Why go out there and try to do something that I don't know? I don't understand exactly everything about it. So when it comes to business, most business owners, when they start, they're really smart. They're going to hire themselves a guide. They're going to hire someone that can help them get through the business, the trials and tribulations of what it is like to start a business, to run a business, and then hopefully eventually sell that business for a profit.
Awesome. That's definitely one of the things that stand out for me when I saw you on LinkedIn, like, oh, fishing for business, your branding, and you're all about fishing. And then you told me about how you actually go with your group, networking groups and clients or people in your network, and you go actually fishing and build those relationships. So yeah, you are like fishing for business could be a play on words to actually, looking for prospecting clients.
But yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do. You got to get people out of the office. When you get people out on a fishing boat, you get them to weather and they're out there with you for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. Sometimes we go 24 hours straight. They start talking. And there's challenges that they have in business, and that's what we're here. Any guide, that's what your job is to overcome the challenges and help those business owners do it. And then for me, it's way more fun to go on a boat and do it than it is to sit in an office.
Definitely, I love how you incorporate those things. So, why did you pick this? Going this route? Like, there's so many different ways in business. Like, why this path?
Sure. I came from the oil and gas business. I was in the oil and gas business. Like I said, I really had a master's degree in trout biology. I used to work for oil and gas companies to help them route pipelines through areas that would be minimal environmental, disturbance. But then when construction came, we helped, minimize that and used to oversee construction. What I saw was there was a lack of leadership in companies, and companies weren't growing well the way they should be. And I just saw it for myself. I work for major companies. There was lack of leadership. People were getting yelled at all the time. They were doing this. And so I said, well, I don't want to do this. I didn't like getting yelled at. I didn't like 24-hour days. I didn't like working 7 days a week. I needed to change. And I went and started my own thing. And I actually hired a business coach because I wasn't sure what I was doing. And at that time, just started because my partner and I, he built a business. I jumped on board and helped really grow the business before we sold it. But when I started from scratch by myself, I started reading all I could read. I hired a coach, and that coach liked the way I did things. And he actually hired me to become a coach with him. And that's what I did for a year or so. And then I went out on my own. And, we always hear, try to do your passion, try to live your passion. And so I'm like, all right, how can I get paid to go fishing? How can I get paid to do what I want to do? And I never wanted to own a boat or become a fishing guide, because everybody I know that does that, I mean, I did it some in graduate school, but everybody I know that does that, they said that kind of takes that passion away from them. So I didn't want to be there every day on the water doing this, but I wanted to be there as much as possible, but with people that wanted to be there and wanted to learn. And I wasn't responsible for the whole thing. And then my son came around, and so fortunately he got the fishing bug too. And so I said, okay, what can I do to incorporate my son, bring him along, go on fishing trips, meet business owners, understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And so, I just mixed my passion for business, my passion for fishing, and wanted to make sure my son could get some good knowledge and enjoy time as well.
I love it. I love that story. I love how it's not like, okay, you have a passion, oh, let me work on that passion. No, it's like, how can I incorporate my passion into my lifestyle that in a way that makes sense? And that's what it's really what people are striving for right now more than ever with the Great Resignation and everything. It's all about how can I work, but incorporating into my lifestyle. So I really like that. So with that, let's segue to the next part of this interview, which is where I want you to, giving your expertise, what are some either actionable tips or a quick lesson that you can teach to the audience that they can learn today or apply today?
Sure. One of the things, I got a book out. It's out there. It's called 8 Strategies to Catch More Clients Without Spending a Dime on Marketing. So it's my marketing guys hate that. But when you're a startup, especially in early phase, you can really get yourself in a hole by not marketing correctly and getting things out there. It's really, you've got to go out there. One of the things I tell people is you got to understand your fish. Who are you trying to catch? On my website, I got a thing called Fishing with Hot Dogs, and I see so many people do this in the beginning. And Fishing with Hot Dogs I share the story is they're just trying to catch anything and anybody. And the story really has to go with how my mom wouldn't let me take worms on our boat. You can go check it out. But I wanted to, as a 12-year-old Mike, I heard there were salmon on the Great Lakes, and I wanted to go catch salmon. And I knew they weren't going to eat hot dogs. I just knew it. And I researched it and I did this. And so business owners, really have to understand who their target market is. Don't try to make it too broad. You got to get really niche down. But my favorite way to go find clients then is find out who else is serving those clients and form joint ventures. I love joint venture partners for startups. Myself, I get a lot of revenue from my lawyer friends, from my CPA friends. There's the ones that are hearing business owners that are struggling and having challenges. And they're like, well, it's not my job to solve this. I'm your CPA. I'm your lawyer. The ones that try to solve that get themselves in trouble. They refer it off. We become referral partners, and I make money. They make money. I refer money back to them when possible and when legal. And the client gets a good experience, and that's what it's all about. If that makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I love how you hammer and emphasize the joint ventures, because I believe that collaborations, it's better than competition, and we shouldn't treat each other like, oh, like I can't reveal all my secrets to this person or all stuff like that. Better look, just come here, look, this is what I propose, and work together. So definitely something that I really work towards too. I'm always connecting with people and see how we can collaborate. So now going to our next part, which is a big challenge that taught you a lesson that you are willing to share with the audience.
I'll share one that I learned and a lot of my clients learned. It's finding social media gurus, finding people on the internet, on Clubhouse, on these places that come out and claim to be gurus that aren't. They may have studied under Grant Cardone. They're not Grant Cardone. They may have studied under, Brendan Burchard. They're not Brendan Burchard. And they go out and they push and they push, they push. A few years ago, I had a guy that, came to me and said, look, I'm really good at helping coaches, grow their business, yada, yada, yada. It was 10 grand. And he returned $250. I made $250 on a 10 grand investment. So I essentially lost, $9,720 on the deal. I just had a brand new client She just came to me through Clubhouse. That's what she did. She hired two gurus. She spent over $30,000, told her to do things that were totally ridiculous, and didn't do anything. Here we are. She and I have been working together for a week, and she's already brought in two clients. She hasn't spent any money. She hasn't put stuff on the internet. She just got in. We worked on her fish. We figured out who her fish was and got her fishing in a pond close to her house. She was in Madison, Wisconsin, and she deals with speech and teaching people how to be conversational in Spanish very quickly. And she was trying to go out to, Los Angeles and Miami. And we found out by doing a little bit of research that the Hispanic population is the number one growing population in Wisconsin. And the population was doubling every 3 years. We picked up two clients within 25 miles of our house by just picking up the phone and making a phone call, because these people were struggling with this and they didn't know how to solve the problem. No reason to go to LA to look for that problem. It's all over the place. So, these are the things we see people do. They listen to these gurus and they go try to go global. They haven't even figured out what the heck they do in their own backyard yet. Fish in the pond behind your house and be good there. Then go to the next place.
Definitely. It's something that I can relate. Being newer to the space, I've also been into this guru journey and we can do all this stuff and blah blah blah. And really yeah, they did give me some stuff that, because I'm new in the space, they do have a lot of stuff that it's useful for me, but not necessarily like the solution to go global and all that stuff. And I quickly understand that. And now I'm surrounding myself with people that make sense and really analyzing, what's in my proximity and what collaborations can we do that I can provide value, that is not just pay 10K here. And it's more like, look, let's just have something that we're both winning together, because I built this network now. I need more help because I'm scaling and growing the company. So
yeah, one of the things I was taught early on is most business owners overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 3. And they try to conquer the world in that first year, and they haven't figured anything out yet. So how do we get there if we haven't even figured out how to close the deal yet? They want to jump globally before they've just gotten out of their neighborhood, and they're just not ready yet. And unfortunately, there are people out there that will sell them solutions to get them globally, and they'll just take their money. They're good salespeople, and they've been trained really well, and they're good. They got good scripts, and they can't deliver. So,
yeah, I've seen it around, and it's sad. And that's that's one of my main purposes when it comes to PR and public awareness in general. It's that I am learning as I've been growing into this industry. I've learned a lot of things, and I want to be a force of good. That it's not just, look, I just want to get your money and nothing else. It's really I want to be empathetic and really I'm coming from knowledge, and I want to help you, but not force you to anything. And I don't know if you notice, with you, I want, I talk to you, I want to collaborate, all that stuff, but I'm not trying to try to sell you anything. I build relationships before anything. And after there's, we know, and trust each other, business will happen naturally. It's all about the connection of the person. And that's my focus.
Yep. No, it really is. And it's just building that relationship with the right people. And it's not everybody. Everybody will waste your time.
Definitely. I've seen that you have to be, pick and choose where's your time valuable, where you're getting reciprocated, all that stuff. Because it's not just get or give or take. There has to be a balance and something that makes sense. And even not even just the resources or the work or the time, but also the personality matching. Because it could be you have what I need and I have what you need, but then if the personalities don't match, nothing's gonna come out. So that's another experience that I had. Somebody super knowledgeable, ex-journalist, and I was like, look, I really want to work with you. You clearly know a lot, but then the personality wasn't there. And I was like, I just can't keep adding drama. I'm a business owner, right? I have a lot of things going on.
I've fired several joint venture partners very quickly, because they've just done things that I thought were unethical. And I'm not good. It's my reputation. and I'm not going to go there. And, that's what it's all about. If somebody treats somebody that I refer to them bad, but, I don't just say, hey, go look with, you're looking for PR, go talk to Fu. Say, hey, here's 2 or 3 people that I know that are good at PR. Here's some options. Me as a coach, guide, it's not my job to say, do this. My job is to say, hey, here it is. Here's 3 people. Go out and interview them. Come back with me. Tell me what you think. And then let's make an educated decision on which one you think you should work with. And, kind of move forward with that. Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a great
because then you're not blaming me if it goes bad. You made the decision.
Exactly. That's a great point. That's a great way to see it. It's like, look, I have this person, just I've talked to them, and that's why it's important to have the relationship. And that's what I told you too. It's like, look, let's go, let's do the podcast, let's add value, let's build relationship, and then from there, now you know me more, and who the things that I can do or who I am and how I do things. So that's a great point. So now this other section of the interview is where I like to open it up like a free topic, something that you think is maybe a common misconception that you haven't covered yet, or something that you're like, look, I always want to tell this to people. So, this is your chance to do that.
I think people, since we're talking a little bit about marketing and sales and stuff like that right now, I want people to understand that there's that chicken or the egg, what comes first, sales or marketing? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's sales. You have to understand how your client buys before you can sell to them. And really what your objective is as a business owner, because once we understand that, then we can put in marketing solutions that can help us win. The analogy I love to give is one of my favorite things to do is catch, blue marlin. And I want to get to the point, hopefully in the next couple of years when I can afford these $10,000 entry fees into some of these big blue marlin tournaments. But there's 2 ways to win those tournaments, right? It's you can catch the biggest fish or you can catch the most fish. Well, you got to understand which one you're trying to do, because to catch the biggest fish, I only got to catch one. And I'm going to spend time doing things different. To catch the most fish, I got to cover a lot of ground. I got it. My marketing is totally different than the other way. So I got to understand how that winning fish is going to bite. I got to understand how I can land it. I got to understand everything about it before I can go on and make that decision. So you really, really, really have to understand your sales process. I get a lot of people, I need a website. I need this and I need this. And I'm like, are your clients going to buy from you off your website? If not, why not just build a landing page? Why don't you give us short little somebody's going to help us? Oh, I need SEO. I need this. Are they going to go look for you this way? Well, I heard it at my networking group. Understand your fish. You really got to understand your fish, because then you can make the best decisions on what you want to do. So, I think it just kind of goes back to the basics, and too many small business owners, and even, too many business owners that even have been in business for a long time, they forget to look at that. I had a client that they lost, almost $9 million a year due to the pandemic. They were in manufacturing and they were in oil and gas. And that's all they did was pitch to the oil and gas industry. And the oil and gas industry is very cyclical. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, and it goes down. And we had to go to them and say, hey, look, we need to figure out how to fish to multiple fish, because you got a great bait, and go pick multiple segments of the energy sector for you to be relevant in, because solar, wind, hydrogen, electric, all these things are not going to raise and plateau and sink at the same time. If we want to go ahead and diversify our business a little bit, that's the way we can do it. We sold the same product to all of them. Because I also hear one of the things that really frustrates me is multiple streams of income. And I'm going to say BS, because most people aren't even good at one. They're not even good at one. Let's go try to get good at 8. My mentor, a guy named Carl Bryan, he taught me, he said, here, Mike, when you're making $5 million a year at one thing, let's go get good at number 2. People go hear this, multiple streams. Look, I'm a coach, right? I get some from speaking. I get some, but my whole thing is I need to be a great coach and be a great business guide, because none of that other stuff happens unless I do this well. Figure out what you do well and become good at it. you should be looking, as Jim Collins says, go from good to great, become great at it and stay great, and then figure it out. Because if you've ever read that book, Good to Great, when he wrote it, none of those companies are great anymore. They all failed. They fell off the face of the earth. They couldn't pivot. They couldn't do these things. So, I think that's, a few of the things I'd love to share there is, don't try to get multiple streams of income if you're just starting out. Get great at one, the others will come, and there's time to do it. But, again, understand who you're fishing for, why you're fishing for, and let's go do what we need to do and master it, become a master at your craft.
That's a great point, because a lot of people, and like even including myself, like at first starting in business, it's easy to be like, oh, I don't know if I like this, let me just try something else, right? And there's like that shiny object syndrome. That's classic, especially for entrepreneurs starting out. And I was just like, damn, like it's this PR thing, like, making these connections to like the real ones that matter are really really hard. And being able to figure it out how I wanted to do it, like how I wanted to partner up with people. There's so many different angles that I wanted to do as something new and disruptive, right? So it was definitely a challenge, and I was looking for like, oh, if I have multiple streams of income, right? I have like passive income here, and then like from there I have a networking thing, and then from there I can do PR. I was like, I tried a little bit. I was like, look, I need to focus. And I when I decided to like, look, just laser focus on PR, now I'm being able to have better connections, better clients, all that, because I'm just all into my like PR and how to do it great, right? How to be great at it, how to be a master at it. And that's where I'm at right now. Things are going in the right direction. A lot of, I learned the hard way with a lot of things, trusting gurus, trusting fulfillment partners, trusting a lot of different things, like, and it's part of it. And I just have to like embrace it and be like, okay, like this is business, let's keep moving forward. And look, I connected with you, I connected with a lot of people that have been great to me, like in great conversations, great value. So it's just, I love this journey. That's why I love this podcast too, having this opportunity to highlight some like great entrepreneurs like you, that I can come like, look, I already been doing this. And I love how you always tied everything with like the fishing and the branding. I love your storytelling. It just kind of matches everything, and I love it.
I know I don't read many business books. I read a lot of fishing magazines and then figure out how to tie that back to business. I've read a lot of business books, and I'm kind of joking about that. I do read a lot of business books. It's really funny that you contacted me, when you did, and you reached out. Like my friend Cameron Harrell just came out, I think I mentioned a book called Free PR, and kind of understanding how you can do it, and how to it's not easy, but he took 1-800-GOT-JUNK from, I think it was $100,000 a year to 300 million, with using what he did, and most of it was PR and getting featured in magazines, getting on TV shows, getting in radio shows. It's there. You need someone to help you do it.
Definitely. Sure. And that's like the value that I bring, because now that I being inside, like in here, like, and working with like journalists or ex-journalists, like I can, with the value of working with me, it's not just like like, yeah, you can learn anything basically nowadays, right, in the internet, or like finding people. But I help on a I save you time, right? Like I do done for you. I just need your expertise. And another thing is like, I'm very open on like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, like I'm not gonna tell you my secrets, because then you can just take them and do it yourself. I'm not like that. Like I'll give my knowledge away. I give my strategies away, because it's implementation what I really sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you do it with me, and then you want to like move forward, and you already know the strategy, and you want to do it, you want to put somebody in house, great, because I'm always gonna be evolving and doing things that we can always be connected different ways. So I'm not like that of like being like, oh no, this is my information, or this is the way, or just give me your money and then I'll do it. I'm not gonna tell you anything. I sell implementation, save you time, and I just want like sell the connection with me, just being with me as a person and connected to my network and all those things that are really bring a lot of value. So that's something that got me thinking with the things that you were saying.
Well, it's like one of the things when I first met Cameron, I saw him speak before I met him, and he talks about something called R&D. And people think R&D is research and development. And he just described his nose rip off and deploy. He said, there's really nothing new going out there. He goes, figure out how somebody else is doing it and go figure out how to do it better. And you don't have to always reinvent the wheel and to do things well. And like all my clients, it's funny when you talk to them, they're like, oh my God, I'm fishing with hot dogs. Oh, R&D, I need to go in this, they start learning these things, and they start, it's interesting when people start quoting you all the time. They know what you're going to say. And, it's good. Just even since you've been doing this podcast, have you been out anywhere and people have recognized you yet? That'll freak you out when it happens. Because the first time it happened to me, it freaked me out. Because, I was doing a lot at one time, and I was out at a bar one day for a happy hour, and this lady walked in, and she goes, oh my God, I've been watching you for months. And I'm like, really? Somebody watched? Somebody listened?
That's so for me, it's something that being in PR, it's something that I really like, that because I aim to be omnipresent through media coverage, right? Like that's one of my things. So when I start getting recognized, I get referrals for people that I don't even know. It's like, oh, them, like that person referred me because he's been looking at my content, looking at my stuff. So that's definitely a great feeling, and one of the best the benefits of PR, because it's that, like, giving that authority and visibility that people even feel comfortable referring to you, because even without talking to you, because they even feel like they know you because they've been looking at your content for months or stuff like that. So that's something powerful, and I really like. So just to kind of wrap this up, just the biggest takeaways in my book, and you can let me know if I let them let any slip. So it's the first how to really know where to fish, right? And how do you want to fish? That's one of the things that as a biggest takeaway for me here, because like you said, like I really love the analogy of like the way two ways that you can win. You can go for the biggest fish, or you can go for multiple fishes, right? Like the most amount that you can get. And those are not only like you knowing where to find those fish, but also like what are you willing to put up, right? Like the kind of work is different, so the focus is different, and the mindset. So that's how I like all this ties together. And then another big takeaway is like, don't be afraid to invest, but don't let yourself fall from just gurus that just self-proclaim. And that's something that I took away from it, because I've been in those systems of the gurus too. And also because I want to become a coach in the future. Right now I'm consulting and everything, but I want to really be a thought leader, really be like the someone that is be able to coach and teach people. But I know that I haven't earned that yet. Like I'm still scaling, I'm still growing, I'm still like haven't been doing this for 2 years yet. So there is a lot of growth to do, and I recognize that. So that's something that was a big takeaway for me. And another takeaway would be to like be lean in the beginning, right? Like you said, like zero marketing dollars, be extremely lean. You don't need a website, SEO, all those things, just minimum viable product, and that will work for your fish, right? Like research, make sure that you you understand your target, and then from there, what's the minimum viable product, and stay lean, because you don't want to like a lot of costs. And is there any other thing?
You being on the West Coast, the thing I think you only missed was, who are you fishing for? Know that. But look at, you're on the West Coast. There's trout and there's salmon. I can go out and I can teach somebody brand new to catch a trout with a worm. Then if I got to go teach them to fly fish, it's way different. It's way different. Don't you're not going to learn to go fly fish at first unless you hire a teacher to teach you how to cast the dang thing. But I can surely help you go learn by fishing with worms where in the river and the stream the trout hide. So when you graduate up to, let's say, throwing spinners and jigs, now they're still there. You're just doing something different. It's harder than the flies. Now we're doing something that's different. It's harder, but you got to learn the basics first, man. We figured it out. So
completely agree with that. And this was great. I think that It was entertaining. It was a lot of value packed. I think we kept the ideas pretty good. So thanks for taking the time and joining me to give value to my audience. This was great.
Of course, I appreciate it. And
So
and if your audience wants to reach out, you want me to do that? Tell them how to find me. Or
yeah,
are you gonna
that's where I was gonna say right now.
you can catch me at Micheal at teachyourbusinesstofish.com, or you can go to teachyourbusinesstofish.com. Or if you don't want to write out all that, it's TYB, the number 2 F, TYB2F.com. You can catch us there. You can find out what we're doing. You can download some magazine articles where we've been written on. There's a book. There's a business health check. There's a whole bunch of tools that we have there that can help a business kind of assess where they are, and if they need a guide, and in what part of their business they need a guide. Every time your business changes, you need someone to help you. To build a $500,000 business is not the same as building 5 million. And as you graduate, you move up. Find someone to help you, and find someone to really do it. So, that's what I push, Fu. I hope it was good.
It was great. I really enjoyed this conversation. I feel like the flow was there, and I love like the dynamic of incorporating the fishing into everything because it makes sense. It truly makes sense. It's easy to understand. So thanks for making it easy for us, the listeners. So this was great, and I'll get back with you like after this, and I hope that we can maybe even do a fishing trip one day.
Great. You can come on down here. We're doing one in June. Come on down. Got a couple spots left.
Perfect. So I'll see you around, and this was great. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on, and appreciate you wanting to have me on.
So this was Moments with Fu, and this is Fu signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Fu with your host, Fu. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.